Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, making cards with what else other than crackle paste and distress oxide sprays. I'm having fun with it all. So for today's cards, I started with this Slimline Waves stencil from Picket Studios. And I have some of my Canson watercolor paper and crackle paste. As always, or lately, the crackle paste I'm using is no longer available. It's been reformulated. I linked to the new stuff. I'm trying to make a point of using up this crackle paste though, because it still works. And I really need to use it up because my orders that I placed over a month apart, and I'd put the crackle paste in each order, and then they showed up on the same day. Thanks, Canada Post. But anyway, I applied the crackle paste, just messy, didn't worry about it too much, and then I set it aside to dry. While that's drying, I have some more Canson watercolor paper, and this image from, this is Picket Studios Pucker Up set, which possibly is discontinued. I'm not sure. I know there's a couple left at Simon Says Stamp. I have a link to it, but I also will link to a couple other sort of similar sets. There's a Colorado Craft Company one and a Hero Arts one that's really cute. So I'll provide some links. But anyway, I'm stamping it onto the watercolor paper multiple times because there's all the texture, and the stamp like this has there's a lot of detail. And I'd used my anti-static powder tool. I inked up the stamp with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. Stamped it these multiple times here using my mini MISTI. And then you don't have to do the step, but this is just what I like to do, is heat emboss, because it gives me those raised edges I like, so things aren't running into each other. I don't have to worry so much when I'm watercoloring. I can go a lot faster. For today's watercoloring, I'm using Wow's Clear Matte Dull embossing powder. When it melts shiny, but you literally can watch it. And my camera would not pick that up, but in real life, you can see it as it cools off. It turns matte, so it doesn't look embossed. I like it. I've shown it in a ton of videos. I bought the large container it, hence me having it in a Sistema container, because I have a lifetime, well, maybe not a lifetime supply, because I do use this a lot. You could use just regular clear embossing powder though, whatever floats your boat. So I did this twice. And then for the watercoloring, I'm just using my distress oxide sprays. I showed this in, I think, just my last video. I shake them up really well, and then I just take the nozzle out and just tap it onto, a little plastic palette here. And then all I'm doing for the watercoloring is applying clean water first with my little, I'm just using my little Nouveau brushes, nothing fancy. I apply clean water, I pick up some of the oxide spray off the palette, and paint. That's it. With the lemons, I used squeezed lemonade, of course, and a bit of mustard seed. So I started with the lighter, went in with the darker, and then I just kind of tap the brush with the darker mustard seed color to get sort of a little mottled look, give it a little bit of texture. Again, an image like this with all of the detail already in it, it kind of makes the coloring extra simple, because you're not going to see a lot, like if I did a bunch of fancy blending and things like that. So with the leaves, I used Cracked Pistachio and Rustic Wilderness, which is my current combo green favorite. And then on the little branch, I used the same greens, but I also added a tiny bit of gathered twigs. And that's it. Simple. Super simple, super easy when it comes to painting lemons and that sort of a thing. You're not reinventing the wheel. If you want to be really Art Nouveau, you totally could. Paint them purple, whatever floats your boat. But if you're keeping them simple, it's simple. So I painted them. I did have the coordinating wafer die for this, so I die cut these. Otherwise, I would have just fussy cut them. And now after they were dry, of course. And at this point, my crackle paste backgrounds were completely dry. So now I'm going to start spraying. So I sprayed them with water first, and then I'm just using that same Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide spray and the Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide spray, and just messing around with them. Literally, just spraying them on, picking up some of the excess color with my little piece of paper towel that I keep using until it's completely overly saturated. And, smushing the backgrounds into it and just seeing where this goes. I really like with the crackle paste, the sprays seep into all those crackles. You would get Not the crackle effect, but you can get similar effects with the Ranger, just embossing paste, like without the crackle. That will absorb these colors as well, because that's how it was designed. I haven't been using that one lately. I need to do some backgrounds with that one. I'm just, like I said, trying to use up the crackle paste I've got. And also I'm really liking it. It's fun. So I just kind of went back and forth, like dried it a little bit with my heat tool and then added a few more layers with the sprays. If you hold the nozzle with a couple fingers and then like only press it about halfway down, you get more like this splatter rather than just spray, you know, kind of blobs. They all are kind of different. And I was just creating, I just wanted this green texture-y background. That's it. So once I was happy with it, I dried it with my heat tool. And then when they were completely dry, I ended up trimming these down a bit. So they end up being smaller than what my mini slimline cards will be. So these are like roughly 3 by 6 inches, something like that. And then for my main sentiment, this is an MFT thank you wafer die that I've used a bunch of times. So I had die cut it from just some smooth white cardstock and then stacked the layers together. So each of these die cuts are 3 layers thick, because you know, I like my thick sentiment die cuts. And then after I had done that, I took Squeeze Lemonade and Mustard Seed Distress Oxide inks and my little Ranger blending tool, and I just blended about halfway down to kind of give them that ombre look. And also it pulls in the yellows that I used when I watercolored lemons. Yes, you could totally have just used the Distress inks when watercoloring. People ask me that a lot. I'm just enjoying the sprays, doing the backgrounds. Also, they're a bit more intense than the inks, but whatever floats your boat. You can do the techniques with either or, you just get different results, and it's fun. So I blended all those inks onto those die cuts, set those aside, and then my card bases are just more smooth white cardstock. And I have this washi tape on my little guillotine trimmer here because the edge of the washi tape is at the 6 1/4 inch mark. And then I put a line down the washi tape with a Sharpie pen that marks the 6 1/2 inch mark, because the trimmer doesn't go that far. Because when I'm making mini slimline cards, I make mine 6 1/4 inches by 6 1/2 inches. It just kind of maximizes the size you can fit in mini slimline envelopes. So when I cut it to 6 1/2 by 6 1/4, I then score it at 3 1/4. So it ends up being a 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch slimline card. However, if you're using 12 by 12 cardstock as your card base, or you just want to keep things simpler, you could just cut, you know, a 6 by 6 inch piece and then score it at 3 and just have a 6 by 3 inch. Again, it's whatever floats your boat. I just like that little extra clearance. It just gives me working room. So made my card bases, and then I pulled out my MISTI for this one. I have the card base in my MISTI so I can stamp that large lemon image, and I'm just going to ink that up with the Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide ink. So I'm going to line that up on the inside of my card, ink this up with that Distress Oxide ink, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing to the second card base, of course. And then once I have both of these stamped, I'm just going to take a couple of the little sentiments from the set. There's 2 little sentiments that I used. I used the one that says, "The best is yet to begin," and then the other one is, "Thank you for being you." So I just lined those up kind of around those lemons on the inside of the card. And then once I was happy with where they're placed, I am going to ink those up with more of that VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. So just kind of nestled them in there around that image. Inked them up with the black ink, and then I'm going to repeat the process with the second card so that both cards have the sentiment and the image stamped on them. So once I have those stamped, I used the remaining bits of cardstock when I cut my card bases, and I just used that to put behind the textured card fronts that I had created. It gives like the teeniest bit of dimension without a whole lot. So because that's also something I get asked a lot, like when you're making like slimline cards or mini slimline cards, it's like, what do you do with the extra cardstock? I use it for things like this. I save all my scraps. I use it for die cutting, because, you know, die cutting sentiments, die cutting images, all the things. Like, there's a bajillion uses. I don't ever get rid of my scraps. So when cutting card bases, I just have extra scraps. And Even though some days I could say I could be buried in scraps, I still manage to use up a ton of them. I always reach for the scraps first. When it comes to die cutting like sentiments and stuff, I always reach for my scraps first. I don't cut into a full sheet of cardstock unless I need to. So, anywho, did all my adhering. I use craft tacky glue for everything. And I was using my acrylic blocks just to hold down when I'm adhering on top of these textured backgrounds, because with all that crackle paste and everything, wanted to let that liquid glue like fully adhere. And then the sentiments I put on an angle because of how large they are, and this is a smaller card front. And I will show at the end, I am actually able to fit these cards like into a mini slimline envelope, but if it bugs you, you can just cut off the little bit of the thank you that hangs over the edge. I was going to, but then I was like, ooh, it fits. If it fits, it stays. So anyway, speaking of the envelopes, I decided to zhuzh mine up a bit. I was going to use my lemon chiffon mini slimline envelopes, but I used them up, and my order with some more envelopes hasn't shown up. So I just grabbed some white ones, and I did the same thing like I did with the sentiment. I'm just blending Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide ink onto them, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the mustard seed Oxide ink, so they have this nice little bright, happy yellow ombre going on. So I just used my same little Ranger blending tool, blended the Squeeze Lemonade on first, about halfway up the envelope, and then I'm going to add the mustard seed along the bottom, and then that's going to finish off the envelopes. So really quick and simple. And it just gives it that extra something. I was going to use the stencil on the envelopes, but then went with the ombre. Either one would work. Because the stencil with like cracked pistachio and the rustic wilderness distress oxide ink would look amazing. So yeah, should have done one of each. But again, hindsight, all the things. So once I got those blended, I of course added a bit of bling. Because I know I didn't add splatter to the watercolor. I kind of get my splatter fix though using the sprays and doing the, you know, crackly background and everything, but I didn't actually add splatter. I know. So I added bling. I just grabbed some yellow gems from my stash and just kind of randomly adhered them all over both of these cards with more of the craft tacky glue. And then once those were adhered, these cards are done. So I'll show you guys as best I can the crackly texture. I also have the pictures at the end and pictures on my blog, which will be linked directly below the video. And then I'll show you guys how I make this fit in the envelope. You just kind of have to be a little careful getting it in because of that, like the tail of the T and of the U, but it works. So I just kind of push it in a little bit right there. It works. But honestly, I have no problem like trimming it off. I've shown that in a million videos. I'll just cut it right off the edge, but it fits. So I left it. I kind of like how it hangs off. So as always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post. I'll have a supply list. I'll link to everything, the other sets I talked about, all that stuff. You can check that out in the description box below the video, as well as on my blog. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.